All right, it says I'm live. We'll see if I actually am. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Anybody that's in the chat box there, looks like we got 34 people already up in here waiting. Appreciate you being in here. And before I do, y'all more punctual than I am. Of course, that ain't saying much. But hopefully I am live. I'll go ahead and give you the rundown for those of you watching this after the fact so you can be apprised of what's going on. Doing some carp fishing tonight out on Tennessee River. Been a long time since I've done any carp fishing, probably 2 months or more. Just been busy with other stuff, you know, only so many hours in a day. But I thought, you know what, I want to come out this afternoon, do some carp fishing, just get a little me time. And I thought, you know, I've had some people requesting some live streams lately. We'll just go live for an hour or so while I'm out here. Probably won't stay live the duration of my trip, but we'll do it live for an hour or so and just have a chat with some people and maybe catch a fish or two while we're out here. So anyway, hopefully some people can see and hear me. I'm gonna tap this. We got some wind out here today, folks. And if my microphone is not properly hooked up, y'all gonna hear a roaring in the dang chat box there. So let me just, can y'all hear that? Me tapping on that right there? If you can, we're in business. If not, okay, Trevor says video and sound is good. Perfect. Thank you so much, Trevor. Appreciate you there. Yeah, we're in good shape then. We live and y'all can hear me. I come out here, well, I got out here just a few minutes ago when I threw a bucket of chum out. The wind is blowing down in this direction toward the back of this creek. So them chum crumbs are getting pushed down in there, and I just cast our bait out. We got some pack bait out there right now, so hopefully them carp that's in here will pick up on that scent and come find our bait. Usually when I get lines in, historically it's taken about an hour before the fish kind of find things, so who knows? Hopefully we got some fish close by and we'll get bit right away. If not, we'll just sit here and hang out and chat and enjoy each other's company until such a time a fish graces us with their presence. Let me scroll up here and see what all we got going on. Lord Almighty, somebody hit me with $50. Fishing a family tradition. Terry, what's going on, Terry? Says, I'm still catching up with this year's videos. You've been killing it again this year. Good luck today. I'm on my way back to Missouri from California. Well, thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate that $50 there. Appreciate your support. I hope you have a safe trip back to Missouri. I met Terry out there, gosh, was it last year or the year before at the Catfish Conference in Kansas City. She got her granddaughter out of school there and brought her to the conference, and that was pretty neat. They good people out there. Thank you so much there, Terry. Let me scroll up here and see what else. There's Willis Kopp, Eddie Damon, Fitzgerald Richards. Paula says hello. Nikki Hayes, what's going on, Nikki? There's Travis Gentry, Kodiak Fishing, Brian Forrest and his horse named Toby. There's my mom in the house. What's going on, Mom? Charles Seward, what's going on, Charles? Russell Smith, got some Catfish Club members in here. I'd made a community post earlier for my club members, give them a heads up. Most of my channel members signed up for the membership through live streams, which I haven't gone live very much this year. Did a few back in the spring, but still got a bad taste in my mouth over getting demonetized on one of them live streams. So I just said, heck with it. I've been doing the Ultralight videos were just unedited. It's basically just, you know, raw, basically a live stream without being live. And so that's kind of the people who like the longer videos and this kind of format, they seem to have taken to those videos pretty good, at least from looking at the views anyway. And those videos, if I do say something stupid, I can always just not post the video. Unlike these live streams, you mess up and say something stupid, well, it's live. They ain't no do-overs, you know. And on the unedited videos, there's nobody in a chat box to trigger me, you know, and get me to say something stupid. So I've been doing those this year, and they've been a pretty big hit so far. So thank you to everybody who's watched those. Let's see what all we got. Well, we got a few people in here. Hey, Deanna, what's going on? Michael Timmons, Bob Nicholson, Kelly Johnson. There's Paul, P&B Catfishing. Let me get on down here. Mike Potter hit me with $9.99. What's going on, Mike Potter? What's this say? Oh, crap. Mike Potter, if you've left a comment with your super chat, I can't see it. I see the $9.99, but it seems like I had this problem last time. We were live a few months ago where the text was all jumbled up and stuff. So Mike Potter, I'm sorry if you left a comment with that super chat. I apologize. I can't read it, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you watching today and appreciate your support. Travis Gentry, I need a carp today too, man. I ain't done it in, I think it was early July the last time I went carp fishing. It's been a while. And I've been missing it, man. I've been jonesing for it. So today's the day. We out here. I don't know if we'll do any good. We had this cold front come through over the weekend. And prior to the cold front, I was absolutely tearing up the cats. I mean, blues, flatheads, good quality. I mean, just tearing them up. And I took the weekend off. Well, I took Monday off too, just because it was so dang cold, you know. And man, since then I can't hardly catch a cat. I went out this morning. I got 2 smalls, and yesterday didn't do any good. Just a couple small fish. So the big fish either moved on from where I was at, or they're just shut down right now. So I'm hoping the carp fishing is going to go a little better this afternoon. It's hot out here today. It's like 80 degrees out here and been sunny most of the afternoon. So I'm hoping that these fish are kind of stirring around here. And these backwaters, I've seen some shad flipping back here. So hopefully we've at least got some carp. I hope so anyway. I'm gonna fish till dark, so we'll probably go live here for an hour or so. And then but I'm gonna fish till dark, just get a little me time fishing in. It's that time of the year where the YouTube views drop, so I just get a little bit more time for me, get a little bit more time to experiment with stuff. Trevor Wagner said he likes the raw and uncut. They're pretty fun to go along with you on those rides. Well, thank you, Trevor. There's Mike Potter, his comment. He says, finally caught a live stream, watched them all, but never live. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Mike. Glad to have you all in here. Jeff Laxton likes the raw and uncut. There's Clint Payne. What's going on, Clint? He's probably watching from work, y'all. Poor Clint never gets a day off. Yeah, Art, I've used carp for bait before. I don't like using them because they're so hard to cut up. Matt Carrier, sciatica is treating me good, man. I ain't had no issues in a long time with it. I still go to the chiropractor regularly, but between that and my core strength exercises, I've not had any more flare-ups. So I think I'm on this has actually been the longest I've went in probably the last several years without any sciatica. It's been well over a year since I've had any flare-ups. So the chiropractor and the core strength stuff has really helped me a lot with it. There's Daddy Doug, Douglas Medlin in the house. Steve Mosley. Hey, there's Mark from Catfish and Crappie. What's going on, Mark? Terry says raw and uncut is the next best thing to the lives. I'm thinking about doing that with my videos. Well, good luck with it, Terry. I hope you find time to make some videos. Jason Dew, hello to your wife, Crystal. So she absolutely loves watching me. Well, you got you a good woman there, Jason. I'd keep at it. She's obviously got wonderful taste in YouTube videos, so that's rare. That's rare. A lot of women don't appreciate me on YouTube, so you better keep her. Charles Seward, I hope we do get a buffalo, man. That'd make my day. That would absolutely make my day. Matt Carrier says the raw and uncut has become his new favorites. I'm glad you like them, Matt. they my best performing videos on the channel. They outperform the catfish videos now. So I'm glad people like them because I like going ultralight fishing. Charles Seward hit me with $10. Thank you, Charles. Really appreciate that, man. He's been a club member for a long time. Appreciate all my club members. Clint says he's about to start hitting the water. Clint, you've been saying that for a year, and you still ain't been out there on the water. I'll believe it when I see it, Clint. Russell Smith is watching you tie jigs on. It's the light of our day. Yeah, I do break off some on them raw and uncuts, that's for sure. I think I'm gonna do that in the morning because tomorrow we've got a ball game on Saturday, home game. So the Vol Navy will be going up a Tennessee River tomorrow in full force. You'll just be pounded out there with boat wakes. I think I'm gonna do some ultralight fishing first thing in the morning, and either go to Melton Hill or Emory River somewhere, you know, where I ain't gonna get a lot of boat traffic, and do that for a few hours, and then I'm gonna let them have it for tomorrow and Saturday because I ain't fooling with them. I got me a load of dirt coming tomorrow afternoon. I've been doing some projects around the house lately, getting some stuff caught up and ready for winter, so I got a load of dirt coming in tomorrow, and I gotta fix a bunch of holes. I had them trees cleared several years ago. The root systems have finally deteriorated and starting to break down, and I'm getting these holes throughout my yard. And so I'm having this dirt brought in. I'm gonna pack them holes up before the leaves really get falling down where I can't see them when I'm mowing and mulching them leaves. And because I got me a new mower and I don't want to be messing it up, you know. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow and probably Saturday, and I'm gonna set me up a raised bed garden for next year. I'm gonna use whatever dirt I got left over for that. I didn't put out a garden this year because I hate my neighbors that live next door to me. I hate them people with a passion. And so they kind of ruined gardening for me because it's on that side of the house where if I'm in the garden, I gotta look their direction. So I think next year I'm gonna have me just a raised bed garden just so I can put out a few plants, you know, just for not so much the fun of working a garden, but just so that I can have some fresh things that I like to eat, you know. Won't cause me a lot of time and upkeep for a raised bed garden like it does with a regular garden that I got to get out there and hoe and stuff, which I never minded the hoeing. It was kind of cathartic for me, really. It was one of them, a chore for most people to get out there and hoe, especially in the heat of the summer. But I always kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of my time to get away and just be in my own head, you know. But since them people next door moved in, it ruined all that for me. So next year we just gonna have a raised bed garden. But anyway, that's tomorrow's project. Y'all don't give a crap about that. Let me get back to the chat box here. I'm probably falling behind. Trey Neely, we're after carp today. Matt Carrier wants to know if we're ever going to do a raw and uncut catfish video. I've thought about it, Matt, but here's the thing. With catfishing, I oftentimes have long periods of downtime. And, you know, when I'm ultralight fishing, I've got downtime in that too, obviously, but I'm constantly casting. You know, I'm making casts, things are happening. I usually don't go more than 10 casts without catching fish. But if I go on a catfish video and I'm raw and uncut and I have a 30-minute, hour-long stretch where I'm not getting bit, like, what do you talk about? That's one thing if I'm live with you all and I'm going an hour without getting bit because I can conversate with you. But these raw and uncuts, I pretty much gotta carry on a conversation with myself. And I can talk for a little while, but boy, an hour without catching a fish, it's going to be tough. So I tried to film a raw and uncut video when I did a bass tournament recently, and I stunk it up. I skunked in the tournament. I mean, I did terrible in the bass tournament. But I was going raw and uncutting it, and after about an hour of casting and not catching anything, I was like, well, I'm done. You know, I'm out of conversation topics here. I got nothing to talk about. I can't catch any fish, so I shut the camera off and said heck with it, which ended up being fine to do that because I didn't catch no fish anyway. But yeah, that's kind of the holdup for me doing a raw and uncut catfish video. If I was really tearing them up one day, I might could do it, you know. Or if I was fishing for smaller cats, maybe if I did a light tackle catfishing video where I was using chicken or just smaller baits, so those fish that are constantly nipping your baits when I'm using the bigger chunks, those fish would hook up and I'd have more going on. So that may be a possibility. Maybe we could do that. A raw and uncut carp video too could be a possibility if I've baited an area in advance and really had them in an area when I showed up. Obviously today I haven't done any of that. I threw out some chum when I first got here, but I hadn't pre-baited or anything. So, you know, it takes usually about an hour or so to kind of get a bite going when you do show up somewhere. So that might be a possibility too if I pre-bait on a carp trip. Let me scroll down. I saw another Russell Smith says, are there lakes around that are not part of the river? Not too many here in East Tennessee, or not where I live anyway. Chilhowie Lake there in the mountains, but it's a reservoir too technically because it comes out of the mountains. But no, most everything here is either part of the Tennessee or the Clinch rivers, in my area anyway. Yeah, Mark, high fences do make good neighbors. I like them people. I don't say I like them. I tolerate them better since I had that fence put up. There's Vivi Saldana, my man from West Texas. 1999, he says, hey there, buddy. Nice to see you again. I'm down in Texas on a little vacation. Catch me a big one, hammer down. Heck yeah, Vivi. Vivi's a truck driver, y'all. He goes from Texas up here to Alcoa, Tennessee all the time. So you getting you a much earned, much deserved vacation there, Vivi. I hope you enjoy yourself, man. Thank you for that super chat. Willis Cop says, Hoens, what's going on with the mouse? That's the truth, buddy. That's the truth right there. I was going up Kingston Pike there the other day and drove past some mouses here. I was thinking about that place. Tony Jessen says, Idaho in the house. Heck yeah, Tony. Clinton G, been a member for 18 long months. Thank you for sticking with me so long, Clinton. He says, good luck, Justin. Really wanted to come meet you when you came to North Carolina, but life got in the way. Hey, it happens, man. I understand that. I wish you could have, though. I had a real good trip over there in North Carolina. I'm gonna hopefully go back over there to Kerr Lake again at some point. That was definitely a destination spot. A lot of big fish in there. Fishing with Mario from Chicago. Well, hello, Mario. Well, thank you, Charles. He likes watching me catch any old fish. Yeah, Trey, I ain't done any trolling for stripers in a long time. I used to do that at night, and I just don't hardly do any night fishing anymore. But I need to plan a trip to do it at some point. It's been a long time. Thank you, Dan Durham. No, Damon Jones, I ain't into the whole noodling thing. I don't like noodling. I don't like the people who do it. So I ain't ever going to partake in it. Oh, we got another super chat here. $10 from Venture Syndicate Outdoors. He says, what's up, man? Been watching your content for years now. I even started my own. I've now made the Catfish Sumo Pro Staff. Hey, that's awesome, man. It's pretty cool making the same place as the channel that inspired me. Well, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate the super chat, and congrats on getting on the Catfish Sumo Pro Staff, buddy. Daniel's got some products coming out I think y'all gonna like here. I got email earlier today. I got something coming in the mail to me tomorrow that's been in the works for a while, so I'm excited to try that out. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it now or not, but big things happening at Catfish Sumo. Going to be some stuff coming out in the near future. He's got another project in the works too that I'm pretty excited about, but all that behind the scenes stuff, y'all know how things. It's a slow process when you know what's going on behind the scenes, you know. But that's just part of how product development goes. You know, you gotta design stuff and get the samples and figure out what ain't good about it and send it back and make changes and get more samples. And you know, it's an ordeal. I never realized before becoming friends with Daniel and working with Catfish Sumo and stuff, just what a process it is to get products that are you know, worth using and stuff on the market. It's a multi-step process, that's for sure. Let's see, lost my place. There we go. There's Lynn. What's going on, Lynn? No air dray, ain't caught no monsters today. Ain't got nothing here since we went live. James Shuey, what's going on? Been a long time. Daddy Doug says, is YouTube pushing the shorts? I've seen several people I watch seem to be doing long. Douglas, they've been pushing shorts for over a year now. If your people are just now starting to do shorts, they're behind. They're behind in the process. Scott Rose says that place is still open. I think he's talking about the Mouse's Ear. Well, fun fact, Scott. There's 2 Mouse's Ear locations. Now, one of them, I think somebody got shot at one of them there up by UT over there, Alcoa. So I do think they shut that one down. But the one on Kingston Pike, I think it used to be a little safer to go into. The women wasn't any better. But so, you're probably not gonna die if you go to the one on Kingston Pike. I can't say that you're gonna come out there disease free, but you ain't gonna die if you go into it. Pat from South Africa, what's going on, Pat? He's watching from a long ways away. Keith Hensley said, if you ever had a meetup, maybe you could do it at the Mouse. Keith, I think that's a great idea. That's the best idea Keith has ever. I used to work with Keith back in the day, and I can promise you this is the best idea he's ever had. And if somebody wants to arrange it, I might be up for that. I think that's a wonderful idea. They ought to be giving us some free VIP room time just for bringing people in the door there, Keith. Don't tell your wife about that. Keith, as great as that idea sounds to me, I don't think your wife will like it. Of course, she might be happy to get rid of you for a couple hours, too. Hey, what's going on, Bumblebee Junction? Hard Enduro Appalachians is Northern Kentucky here. Just one state above me. Fairbanks, Alaska is present. 11B Garage. We got people all over the world watching today, y'all. All over the world. South Africa, Alaska, Kentucky. The full gamut. There's Larry Yar. He's been a member for 14 months. He says, hey, Justin, glad to see you live. Good luck today. Well, thank you, Larry. Thanks for staying with me so long, man. Appreciate all you club members. Well, there's Pontoon Jody. She says, I'll be. Came out of retirement. Yeah, I ain't been live in a long time, Jody. I got burned on it there by the YouTube back in the spring and it pissed me off, so I quit going live. So I'm back on it today. I've had people been requesting it and stuff, so I thought, well, I'm going carp fishing today, and today's a good day to do it. So I'll go live for an hour or so and catch up with some people. Glad you could stop in here, Jody. Y'all, Jody Jody, we getting I'm getting a little love tap here, Jody. Jody gets some of them taps too on her channel. She's live all the time. She goes live late at night catfishing. So y'all looking for live stream catfish content, be sure to check out Jody. I'm gonna bear with me a minute, Jody. I think we got a fish on here. My line's slack. I was trying to reel down here. I think we're gonna get the first one here. Let me just jerk this in his jaw. We got one. We got one on here. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's a carp. I think it's a cat. Oh, Lord. I think we got a, or is that a bass? I don't know what this is. I can't see because of the glare. No, it's a cat. Lord help us. I ain't trying to catch no little kennel cat out here today. Let me set you up here a minute. There we go. You know, normally I'd like to dedicate fish and stuff to people there who super chatted me and whatnot, but channel cats are just, I'd feel like I'd be insulting somebody that super chatted me if I dedicated this fish to, especially not only is he a channel cat, but he's a tiny channel cat at that. I mean, just, I don't even want to dedicate to anybody. I don't want to insult none of you people. Nobody's made me mad yet today, so I don't want to insult anybody. We'll hopefully catch us something better than that here shortly. Here's my rig while I got you on that front camera mount. That's a cheapo Amazon special feeder right there. I got that down to a hair rig, number 6 size hook, and that one there had a couple pieces of fake corn on the hair rig. Now I'm gonna put some pack bait on this feeder. It's my usual pack bait setup for those of you that have seen my carp videos before. It's panko, strawberry jello, and corn all mixed up together. Makes like a dough bait that attracts these carp and buffalo, and unfortunately channel cats too. I still have nightmares from my trip down to Texas last year. Spent an ungodly amount of money, went through all kinds of trouble to get down to Texas to try to learn how to catch some buffalo. And we ended up catching about 200 small channel cats instead. We just couldn't keep them things off the line. So there's what that looks like there on that feeder. That wire kind of holds everything on there. And after it sets in the water, it hits the water and falls off that feeder down there on the bottom and kind of creates a little chum pile for these fish to find. And you know, this creek here don't have any current in it, but the wind is blowing this direction. So as them crumbs hit the water, some of them come off and disperse it. It's pushing that scent down that direction. So hopefully there's some carp back up in there that's going to come find this. There's unfortunately one channel cat for sure in here. We've hopefully ruined his day. Maybe he won't bite anymore. Okay, let's see where I was at. I was talking to Jody when that fish interrupted there. Let me see. Boy, I was way behind in the chat apparently. Let me scroll on down here and see what all I've missed. Let me get caught up a little bit. Riley Taylor, 23 months club member. Riley's really been with me a long time. It's been too dang long since a live stream. Good to see you live, buddy. Stay safe out there. Well, thank you so much, Riley. Thanks for sticking with me for almost 2 years now. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I appreciate the heck out of you, Riley. 334, we ain't doing no roll tide crap. We're going to roll over the tide here in a couple weeks when Tennessee wins that ball game. Philip Holland, $20. Thank you so much, Philip. He says, well, I lost my spot here. He says, good to see you. Just closed on a brand new house in a new location and absolutely no cell service. So it's hard to keep up with you and your videos nowadays. Fortunately, I'm at work right now. Tight linesman. Well, thank you so much, Philip. I hate to, well, congratulations on the new house, but I hate that you ain't got no cell service. There was a time in life when not having cell service wouldn't have been an issue, but today's world, it's hard to live without it. I don't know how you're doing it. Well, thank you so much there, Philip. Lynn says, every time I'm on, they're eating supper. It's a wonder they can keep an appetite watching me. My mom's gonna put me in solitary confinement like my dog for talking about the mouse's ear. Yeah, old Daphne, that's her new punishment, solitary confinement. Every time she runs off, when she comes back in, she goes to the crate, which is now in the bedroom, that gets the door closed. Since she craves interaction so much, I'm taking it away from her as her punishment when she's bad. It still don't deter her from being bad though. But it makes me feel better. That's what's important. Anthony C says, love your videos. Thank you, Anthony. Chris Dunaway, I don't know if I'll make it to South Carolina this year or not. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm wanting to go to the beach and catch some sharks. That's kind of what I'm really wanting to do on the next travel trip. So I don't know if I'll get over there this year or not. Mr. Toad says, I made his day with that cat. By gosh, you can have it. You can have all these channel cats. There's Brian B. catfishing. What's going on, Brian B.? Willis Copp said that channel cat is dedicated to your prison buddy in Texas. You know, I looked him up the other day, Willis Copp, as I was curious if he went to jail or not. His trial had been put off forever. And I think because they're going to get off on some technicality. They found $1 million worth of stolen goods in his house from Home Depot, stuff that he had stole, allegedly. The house was nothing but stolen goods and meth and, various other drugs, apparently, allegedly. But apparently how they searched the place wasn't up to legal standards or whatever, or how they got the warrant or whatever. But I think his lawyer's going to get him off on a technicality. The way I was reading. I guess his trial is still going to happen. But the all the stuff they found is not going to be admissible in court. Some stuff like that. He's going to end up getting off. That's what's going to happen. He allegedly stole $1 million worth of stuff from Home Depot. Some crime ring, it's happening to all these Home Depots, Lowe's, Walmarts, all of them. They're getting robbed every day. He's going to get off scot-free. Pisses me off to no end. There's no justice in the justice system. But y'all know this. I ain't telling you nothing that y'all don't know. Hey, we'll see you later, Mark, Catfish and Crappie. You have a safe trip down to the post office. Hey, there's Callie, K&K Fishing Adventures. $20 says, got a meeting at work, but wanted to stop by and donate. Well, thank you, Callie. I think Callie's going to be coming out here next year, y'all. Going to be doing some camping and some fishing out here, so hopefully be able to finally meet in person if that happens. But thank you, Callie. Bumblebee Junctions has been laid up, heart attacks in May and June, then arterial bypass, coarctation correction about 3 weeks ago, still on the mend. Man, I hate that Bumblebee Junction. You've had a rough go of it. I hate to hear that, man. I hope you heal up fast and get back to normal, or at least as normal as can be with what you've been through. I hate that, buddy. Blake says, love the way carp. Man, I tell you what, Blake, I'd love the way a carp fights too if I could catch one out here tonight. I thought it was about to happen when that channel cat hit. Preformed Wave says, I caught my first piebald. That's awesome. So I was able to identify it because of you. So thank you. Well, thank you for tuning in tonight there, man. Congratulations on that piebald. That's a rare catch, buddy. Ain't a whole lot of them out there, so that's a nice catch. Well, Damon Jones, I've been telling Daphne she needs to get some more bikes so we can have a race. She's been slacking. I guess we didn't sell enough bikes this summer, so they ain't been sending us no more. I think we got, I ain't counting them up. We got somewhere between 15 and 20 total that was sent to us. And I don't know how many sold, but apparently it wasn't enough for us to get any more. So I don't know when that's going to happen. We still got one. I race her around my yard every single day. That's how I run the energy out of her. Them electric bikes has been the best thing that ever happened for me and Daphne. 334 Outdoors says the Braves have remembered that they are an Atlanta sports team, so they keep winning the playoffs. So I have to pretend to care about Alabama for a minute. Yeah, it ain't looking good for the Braves, buddy. Not after last night. I think Bryce Harper is going to lead the Phillies to the promised land this year. They looking pretty good right now. They hot at the right time. Mark Reeves says, are you currently involved in any tournaments? No. No, Mark, I'm not. I've got there's a bass tournament Saturday, but I ain't going to fish. I've about talked myself out of it. I'd considered it, but now I ain't going to. And the other catfish tournaments won't start back up until probably spring of next year, probably March or April, I would say. They haven't announced the schedule yet, but I would assume it would probably be in the spring. So no tournaments on the horizon right now. Don Barbarius has finally made a live stream. You've made me want to start catfishing next season. I hope you do, man. It's a lot of fun. Says that prison guy sounds like he's from Florida, not Texas. Yeah, that guy, man, he used to troll me in these videos. I've blocked him on so many accounts, it's ridiculous. But I can't remember who told me about it. I'd give him credit. Now I done forgot, you know, my memory ain't what it used to be, but I was talking about him one day and what a piece of crap he is. And somebody sent me a message, and they had looked him up, and that's how they found out he was a daggone criminal and stuff. And I could say he's a criminal, even though he may get off on these charges, because he's been a convicted felon. He's been to the pokey and all that for, I think it was drugs or something before that he went there for. So he's like a legit criminal and stuff. You never know who's in these dang live streams, man. Could be a criminal, could be somebody famous. You never know. Unfortunately, probably more criminals in this live stream than fish today, at least so far. Ain't but one channel cat for those of you just tuning in. One channel cat. Thus far, he don't even count because he's a channel cat. We don't count them. They practically a skunk, you know. I'd rather be skunk than catch a channel. Yeah, Don, I hope to get up to the James at some point. It's on the to-do list. Hey, there's James Cardwell. He says, what's up, Justin? Great to see a live stream. Hope it's a good evening for carp fishing for you. I absolutely been loving the longer raw and uncut. Thanks for all the content you share with us. Well, thank you, James. I appreciate you always being. James comments on about every video, always positive and upbeat. I appreciate you, James. Need more people on YouTube like James, that's for sure. There's Christina Lemke, says hello from the Minnesota Catfish Queen. I'm on to the sturgeon bite now here, and biggest for me last night was 55 inches, St. Croix River. That's awesome. That's one of them bucket list fish for me there, Christina. I'd like to catch some sturgeon at some point. We've got them, they've been stocking them here forever, but I've never caught one. Some people do, but ours are small compared to up there where you're at, up north and stuff. We don't have none of them 200-pounders like y'all got up there. That's one of them bucket list things for me, though. I definitely want to catch some sometime. The bumblebee says, enter the ditch pickle tourney and tell them you're fishing for catfish bait. I'd probably have a better chance of catching skipjack than a bass out there. You know, if bumblebee, it's funny how it works. If I'm not trying to catch bass, I catch them all the time. I catch them about every time I go fishing for skipjack. I catch bass, largemouth and smallmouth. But yet when I go enter a bass tournament, I can't hardly buy one of the daggone things. It's just funny how that works out. .334 says if you're wanting to shark fish, you should come to the Gatlinburg by the Sea, aka Panama City, Florida. Now, you never know, 334. I may end up down there. I was thinking about making a run down to like Pensacola, because it's like 7 hours away. It's fairly close. I saw a picture on the interweb there, Facebook. Somebody, I guess, was flying a drone above a pier, and you could see all the sharks around that pier. And so they were probably black tips from what people were saying in the comments. But it'd be a close trip. I could probably do that on a weekend or something, if we had a stretch of good weather, low winds. Yeah, Kevin, I'll probably get down there to that pond at some point in the near future. I wish we'd get some more bites. I'd have a reason to go down there for sure. Joseph Jones says, it's so dry in Kansas right now, it's hard to catch anything. And you keep my hopes up high. Good luck, buddy. Well, thank you. It's been pretty dry here too. I mowed my yard yesterday evening, but when I got done, I was covered in dust. Probably the last time I'll have to mow the grass this year, I think. I'll have to do leaves, as they fall, but I think that's the last time I'm probably going to have to cut the grass. Between the time of year and just the fact it's been so dry, I don't think I'll have to do it again. Yep, JDH, I've been to Santee. I got some videos on my channel from it. Kevin West said, good to see another live stream. Since I met you in Chattanooga, I bought me an Old Town Predator PDL and enjoy getting cats in it. It's definitely a more exciting fight on a kayak. Well, that's awesome, Kevin. Yeah, that Old Town, I've got the Big Water, which is basically the Predator. They just renamed it there. But I like it, man. That's probably my favorite kayak of all time as far as catching fish in. My Hobie is easier for what I do for YouTube purposes because I got more storage space and got the motor and all that crap. But the Old Town's a lot more fun to actually fish out of and reel in fish. I've been fishing out of it pretty much exclusively lately. I'm in this kayak tonight because I got the power poles over here to keep me anchored down in this creek, because there's just nowhere in this creek that ain't in somebody's yard for me to set up on the bank. But otherwise, I've been fishing out of the Old Town a lot, and it's definitely a fun time to fish out of it. Keith Doc Reed, what's going on? He says, flathead, please. I've been on them flatheads lately, Keith. My next three videos gonna have some big flatheads in them. It's just, since we had this front come through, my last couple catfishing sessions, I ain't done worth a crap. But boy, prior to that, I was tearing them up. Preform says, what's the biggest blue you ever caught? It's the one on my highlights channel. That video posted last night. Christina says, I forgot how hard they fight. Boy, I got tugged pretty darn good on the last two. We have seasons here for them. Yeah, I can't imagine having 200-pound plus 6-8 foot long sturgeon pulling on you right there. That's got to be a rush. I'm gonna do it at some point. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get up there. Mark Bertolowitz says, thanks again for your entertainment. I had a full day watching kayak catfishing while I was sick. Love your work. Well, thank you, Mark, and thanks for being a club member there. I appreciate your support. Pontoon Jody's giving out advice on where, Pontoon Jody, there'll be 45 boats back there trying to catch a sturgeon now that you've said that. You done burnt that spot for yourself, by gosh. You know how people are. Floyd Vinson, he says, I went bait fishing the other day, ended up smacking a 3-pound largemouth. I believe it, buddy. I catch bass every time I go bait fishing. I just can't catch them when I'm actually bass fishing. Terry, fishing a family tradition, been a member 23 months. Thank you, Terry. It says, we need the official first fish to be a buffalo. I hope it is, Terry. That'd make my day. Because I can't remember the last time that I did carp fish. I can't remember if I got any buffalo then or not. So it could have been a while since I've caught one. I had every intention this year of getting better at buffalo fishing and doing a lot more carp fishing, and I ain't done neither. It's just the best of intentions, as they say. Let me scroll down and see where I'm at here on the chat. How far behind am I? Well, I'm way behind here in the chat. I don't know how I get so far behind, but I managed to do it. There's Joseph. Hello from Oklahoma. No, Quinn, I ain't been out there to West Tennessee to fish that part of Tennessee River. .334 says Pensacola is better on a boat. PC, Panama City is best from shore. Destin, best from not getting robbed. That's funny. Let me see what I'm at here. I got behind again. Okay, I ain't too far behind now. Lured by Essex. He's over there in the UK. Well, we'll see you later, Jody. Good luck. I hope you get a bunch of skips. Jody's going to go get some bait, and I think what I'm going to do is rebait. Right fast, I'm on. That one in the middle, we just rebaited there after the channel cat bit, so I ain't going to fool with it, but these other two, I'm going to put us some fresh bait on right quick. It's been a while. How long have we been live? 40-something minutes, so yeah, it's time to rebait. We may not catch any carp tonight. They may be holding it against me for not fishing for them in so long. It's a nice evening to get out here anyway, just because it's good and warm. We had that cold snap come through, and I tell you, when the first cold snap of the season hits, it's a shock to the system. It feels colder than it is. You know, in the mornings here when it's cold, we had high 40s, you know, for the low temperatures. And it felt like it's freezing. It's just bitterly cold. But here in a couple months, a day in the high 40s, that'll feel like a warm front coming through, you know. We'll be adapted to it by then. All right, there's that and rebaited. Now let's see if we can't get this one too. All these rigs here are the same. just with different color corn. I've got yellow corn, pink corn, and green corn. And this one rig here is a little different. I had tied up some of these rigs to experiment with, and I don't really like them all that much. I like the for whatever reason, maybe it's just a confidence thing, but I've become confident in the hair rigs. So these here, I had put this is a little bit bigger hook. I think that's a number 4. And I got a piece of fake corn. I'd stuck a piece of real corn on there too, but the corn's directly on the hook on this rig, whereas the others are on the hair rig. But I think it's just a, you know, I caught a bunch of carp just putting corn on the hook. Then I started using the hair rig, and I don't know, probably just in my mind. I don't know that it really matters. But I got these hair rigs, so you might as well use them, right? You buy something, I buy them pre-tied ones. So you might as well use the daggone things. All right, let's send this one back out. There we go. We're rebaiting, fishing with 3 rods out here right now. Three's plenty for this area. Could make an argument for 2. I used to try to fish 4 rods when carp fishing, but it gets to be a little much in the creeks and stuff, especially the way them carp run and go back and forth and stuff. You end up getting tangled lines. If you can get them feeding in an area, they'll keep you plenty busy with just 2 rods. So I've had days where the carp were biting so good I couldn't hardly keep 1 line in the water, let alone multiple lines. So I feel like if I'm where I need to be, then 2 and 3 rods is plenty. All right, let me see where I left off at. Keith, $5. Thank you, Keith. He said, glad to see you live. Well, I'm glad you're here to see me live, Keith. Said I took a hiatus from the live streams for a few months, and ticked off at how YouTube had done me there, and the demand had dropped on the lives too. Even tonight here we got 179 people, which is great. But used to we had we'd have 400-500 people in the chat at all times, and so it kind of flowed a little better. It seemed like there was more demand for it. So the raw and uncut videos have kind of replaced the live streams for me. So one of the nice things about the raw and uncut videos, as far as like a live stream replacement, is I can fish where I want to fish and not have to worry about cell phone service. Because how many times have I been live and buffered? If anytime you try to move, like a drifting or anything like that, or even, I tried ultralight fishing on the live stream there a couple times last year. And you find to start, but eventually you cover enough water, you run out of service, you buffer. I don't have to worry about that when I'm just doing a normal video and just going uncut. So I kind of got away from the lives, but wanted to come on here tonight and just say hi and catch up with some of you. It's like Keith here, who has been with me a long time. I've met Keith there in person at the Kansas City conference a year or so back, but Keith I think he has watched, I know he's watched every single video at least once. Many of them he's watched multiple times, and I think he's just about commented on every video too. Keith is a loyal viewer. So thank you so much, Keith. Thanks for being a loyal viewer, and thanks for that super chat. You're a good man, Keith. I don't care what your wife says. Terry says, I had every intention of fishing more this year. LOL, nope. I get it. I get it. There ain't so many hours in the day. Something's always coming up. There's Will. What's going on, Will? He said, this live stream must have been in Cosmic. I woke up this morning and put on my Kayak Carp shirt. That's awesome. Yeah, you must have brought it into existence this morning, Will. Because I woke up today, I went catfishing this morning, but I really woke up wanting to do some carp fishing today. So, we out here. You made it happen, Will. Douglas said he checked his membership yesterday, 2-year anniversary. Well, happy anniversary, Douglas. Thanks for sticking with me so long. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years. It really don't feel like it's been that long. A line monster, I usually use a Carolina rig when bank fishing. Fishing for whatever. He says, hi Justin, how's it going? This is Michael Hunt. It's been a while. You know, Michael, last time we were live when you was in here, I made a joke about your name. But I ain't gonna do that. I want to so bad, but I can't. Because I think that might have been what possibly got me demonetized on that live stream. So I gotta be real careful, even though I want to. I want to make a joke so bad. But I can't. Because that might have been what got me dinged last time. So glad to have you here, Michael. I'm showing so much maturity right here, y'all. I'm disappointed and proud of myself at the same time. Because I really want to crack that joke, but I can't. So I'm showing a lot of restraint and a lot of maturity here by just letting it go. But y'all know what I want to say, though. You know what I want. You're thinking it as I'm thinking it. Terry had fraud. Boy, that's been a common thing too. People stealing credit cards and stuff. I hate that happens. Thankfully, if it happens to a credit card, most of the time credit card company just eats the cost, but still. Hate that you gotta go through changing numbers and all that. Nikki says, Keith has always been so incredibly loyal, and that he has. Well, you have too, Nikki. Nikki's been here a long time too. My mom says just keep restraining. Callie, K&K Fishing Adventures, 23 months. Meeting is over, almost had to call the cops, fired a manager. It was productive. How's the fishing? Callie, we should have been live in your meeting because it's way more entertaining than what's going on out here. I ain't doing nothing. I called a channel cat that don't even count. I'd rather seen somebody get fired. I hope you done the Donald, you're fired. I hope you done that. Yeah, I know, Douglas. I'm making my mama proud. It's a lot more fun though when I don't. I gotta show restraint. YouTube's always watching and they always listening and they're waiting for you to make a mistake so that they can demonetize you and deplatform you. So I gotta be good. Gotta watch myself out here. Jordan Lee, or Jordan Lay, however you pronounce it, says, do you think anchor is important for kayak fishing? If so, what anchor do you recommend? Well, I mean, it kind of depends on what kind of fishing you're doing. It don't have to be important, but, you know, if you're catfishing, anchor fishing is a good tactic in a lot of situations. So as far as what type of anchor, it really depends on the water you're fishing. I mean, if I'm fishing slack water or very light flow, like under a half a mile an hour, I'll use a dumbbell, like a 10-pound dumbbell. And that's plenty enough to hold the kayak, my kayak. But in faster speeds, I like a slip ring, a 3-pound slip ring anchor with a section of chain on it. That's typically what I use for faster flows. But it kind of, you know, again, it's tough to say, you know, you don't have to anchor fish for it to catch catfish. You know, you don't have to throw an anchor at all. A lot of people don't. And, you know, the type of anchor is really going to vary depending on the water you're fishing. So tough question to answer. Oh, Callie says he threw his keys at the GM's face and I drug him out by his collar. Wow. Callie getting physical up in here today. And Callie, you know, I don't know this to be fact, but from watching your videos, you look like you're about 4 foot tall. So here's my question. When you drug him or her out by the collar, did you have to get up on a stool to get hold of the collar? How did that work? Oh, that would have been a show to watch. You should have been filming that, Kelly. That'd be a viral YouTube video right there. Let me scroll on down here. Am I behind again on this? Logan Jordan. Hey, Justin, just tuning in with my dog Catfish from Kansas City, Missouri. Love to see a live stream. Also been getting lots of compliments on the design and action of the chopstick rod. Hey, man, I'm glad you like that rod. If you're a Chiefs fan, I'm pretty sure y'all going to win tonight. That's why I wasn't too big a concern of getting home for the game, because I'm sure it's going to be a slaughter tonight. I think last I looked, I think Chiefs is favored by 10.5. Lord knows Denver can't stop anybody. So I don't know why they put a game. I mean, yeah, I'm sure everybody wants to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and all that mess. But really, Denver on Thursday night, primetime, Al Michaels game, I mean, come on. It's garbage. Nobody wants to see Denver on a primetime standalone game. They need to do better on the Thursday night, the Sunday night, and the Monday night games. Those need to be marquee matchups. But y'all don't care about my football talk. Golf Man Chad, he got stabbed by a catfish. Yeah, I've heard them saltwater cats are pretty rough if you get a spine in you. Yeah, Russell Smith, by gosh, he wants to see Callie drag somebody out by the collar too. Callie says, I'm versed in karate. Callie's giving a Judy chop to this fella. Callie probably Judy chopped him in the nads and got him by the collar. Y'all remember, who was that? Was it YouTube or? It was on some social media, the guy that done the Judy chop. That guy was hysterical. I don't know whatever happened to him. I ain't seen none of his stuff in a long time. I guess the algorithm changed or something. I ain't seen none of it. The old Judy chop. Hey, there's Fishing Key Largo. The MVP of the raw and uncut videos. Fishing Key Largo, y'all. We'll watch the entire 3+ hour, 4 hour, in some case, session of my raw and uncut videos and do stats. How many casts, how many fish, different species. He even counts up how many ads play in the dang videos. It's amazing. Fishing Key Largo's the MVP of those videos. Thomas King in the house. Willis Kopp said, you always have nursing stories and ghost stories to pass the time on a live stream for cats. Some of the funniest moments in YouTube history have been had on those videos. Boy, I hope it don't get so bad we got to resort to that. Larry R, $20. Thank you, Larry. He says, sorry I missed you in Indiana. I live about 3 hours northwest of where you fished the tournament and couldn't make it there to meet you. Well, Larry, you didn't miss much, that's for sure. I didn't do worth a diddly doo-doo up there in Indiana. Didn't do any good at the casino and didn't do any good fishing. I take that back. I had a pretty good pre-fishing session. I caught some fish, but when I went back there on tournament day, it was covered up with boats and other kayakers. Everybody used that ramp, it seems like, that I put in at, and it was a mistake. I shouldn't have went there. But, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. I was one fish away from cashing in the tournament, but we all were, really. It was the day of the dinks. Everybody was so jumbled up close together that a 34, 35-inch fish would have sealed the deal for all of us if we had caught it. But it just wasn't there. I think big fish in that tournament was only 34 inches, 34 something. So it was just one of them days. But yeah, Larry, I wish you could have made it out there. Hopefully I'll meet you at some point in time. I'll be traveling around more next year, so we'll probably have more chances at it. Thank you for that super chat there, Larry. Andy Bass says, been watching and learning a lot about catfishing from you about all year. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for watching, Andy. Joe Ziegler. Last chance. Chris Greenwell says, West Virginia Ninja does the Judy Chop. Classic. If y'all hadn't watched the Judy Chop, check that out. Well, James, I'm glad you're the one buffering and not me, because it's a live streamer's nightmare to buffer. And it happens. But fortunately, and this is why I chose to come carp fishing here, because I always had good service. I've never had a problem buffering in this particular creek. Now, if I go out to the main channel, we'd buffer. But this area back here, for whatever reason, I guess the lay of the land here, we got good service here. I don't know why it works out that way. I'm still waiting on this 5G. How many years they've been talking about 5G and we can't get 3G around here? I feel like every live stream I bring up how the fact that 5G is still coming and coming and coming and coming, but it never gets here. Leroy is watching from Tarlac, Philippines. Well, thanks. From the I don't know if I've ever had anybody watching the Philippines before. That's pretty cool. I have to believe you're the only person named Leroy in the Philippines, though. That can't be a common name there. It's a common name here, but it can't be a common name there. That's pretty cool to have somebody in the Philippines, though. There's Richard with some pink hands. And Tony's watching from Russia. He says, how we say, no tails, no scales. Means luck on fishing. No tails, no scales. Well, sounds like something we'd say at the Mouse's Ear Gentlemen's Club here too, but that's another topic right there. Well, that's pretty cool. So now we've got South Africa, Philippines, Alaska, Russia, and northern Kentucky, which is basically its own foreign country up there. Douglas had just got off the phone with my daughter, told me to tell you thanks again. She is leaving Washington State, going back to Arizona again. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad. It sounds like if she's traveling around, it sounds like the travel nursing thing's working out well for her. So I'm glad she's enjoying it and getting to see some places. I know it, Last Chance, living the dream. Oh, Scott Wara's got jokes. There's going to be some fishing in a minute. I'm going to cut this crap off, is what I'm going to do. Oh, my man, Ed from Oklahoma, $99.99. Thank you so much, Ed. He said, just now able to tune in. What did I miss? Not a daggone thing, Ed. It's deader than the Dead Sea out here. The Dead Sea's got more fish in it. We got one channel cat thus far. One, and it was about 8 inches long. Thank you, Ed. Ed's a good man, y'all. He's been watching my channel really from the start. I think the first time Ed, he purchased stickers for me off my website. It's been that long. And I ain't updated my website in a few years, but I think I put them on there in 2016 or 17. That's how long Ed's been watching. He's been with me forever. Big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, Ed. Oklahoma. got their big win over Texas. All them Oklahoma people's happy right now. They living it up there in Oklahoma. Oh, Leroy says he's from Anniston, Alabama, vacation. And oh, that makes a lot more sense because there's a lot of Leroys in Alabama. But I don't know that anybody born in the Philippines is named Leroy. That would be interesting to look up to see if there's any Leroys that are native to the Philippines. Well, that's interesting to take a vacation. How far away is it to get to the Philippines by? I assume you flew, unless you went on a cruise or something. I don't even know where the Philippines is at. Is that like near Asia? I don't even know. I wouldn't make it in a high school geometry or geography class. I'd fail today. So I don't know where that's at. Andy's from Georgia. We won't hold it against you. Stop it's there from California, Sacramento. Robert Watson's from Canada. Ralph Woods says, hey Justin, I'm in Kingman, Arizona. Sure I'm glad you were out carp fishing and live again. Love your catfish videos also. Good luck today. Well, thank you, Ralph. Mustang James, what's going on? He's a club member. He says, hello, I hope you're having a super great day. Well, thank you, James. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. Yeah, I agree, James Cardwell. I don't know what they demonetized me over. They wouldn't tell me. But I'm pretty sure I had made a joke about Michael's name in that video. So that could have been one of them things that got me dinged. We'll never know for sure. Oh, Douglas says Philippines east of Hawaii. That's a long haul to get out there. I guess you'd probably fly to California and then go to the Philippines. So that's a long haul from Alabama. Probably several hours of flight to get to California. Kevin Powder said, just wait till Oklahoma gets the SEC. I know it'd be another team to beat us all the time. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, this is supposed to be another good year for us, and we looked bad against Florida. I mean, bad. It was almost unwatchable. We just couldn't do anything. The play calling was bad. The offensive line was terrible. Joe Milton is just Joe Milton. It is what it is with him. So I ain't too optimistic. We're favored in this game against Texas A&M on Saturday. I don't know. Texas A&M played Alabama real good. I don't know. I ain't got much confidence, but we'll see. And then we got Alabama the week after that, and then Kentucky. And, of course, Kentucky got rolled by Georgia. I think they got exposed a little bit, so I ain't too worried about them. But Texas A&M and Alabama, they could give us some problems for sure. Alabama's definitely going to want revenge for what we done to them last year. That's just part of being a Tennessee fan, though. You get used to it. You just get used to it. They give you a little bit of hope, and then they kick you in the gonads. That's how it's been. Outside of the 98 season, that's how it's been my whole life. So, as Steve Spurrier so famously said, you can't spell Citrus Bowl without UT. And there's been years in recent memory where we would have loved to have gone to a Citrus Bowl too. That would have been a step up from the toilet bowl that we couldn't even qualify for. Leroy says, you got my only attention on fishing 14 plus hours from San Francisco. Wow. Man, 14 hours from San Francisco, and it probably took you, I bet it took you 4 or 5 hours to fly from Alabama to San Francisco. You had to really want to go to the Philippines. Don't be telling me you seen a ghost. It's daytime. You ain't gonna see no ghost in the daytime. He's trying to spook me out here. He knows I don't like him old ghosts. Yeah, last chance, that was pretty cool with that flathead. The first video where I caught him the first time come out on Tuesday. So that video's out. The video that I caught him the second time will come out, I think it's scheduled sometime next week. So I had a couple other trips in between where I'd caught him, but pretty incredible. It wasn't too far away, maybe a half a mile from where I got him the first time. But pretty crazy to catch that same fish again, such a short distance and such a short time period. Tim Zazimski, what's going on, Tim? Douglas said, like being, yeah, I think being a Braves fan and being a Tennessee football fan is very similar. Most years. Braves fans are going to be feeling it this year because I'm pretty sure Philly's about to knock them out. Fishing Key Largo says, I know the feeling. I'm a Browns fan. Yeah, Key Largo, you got it bad, buddy. Y'all spent all that money on Deshaun Watson. They say he's medically cleared to play, but just ain't playing. So, and hell, he ain't been no good when he has played. Thankfully, y'all got a really good defense. I mean, next level defense, but I don't think it's going to do you much good against San Francisco this weekend. I mean, unless something happens to San Francisco, I think they're going to run the table. I don't know who's going to beat them. I mean, they probably won't go undefeated. They'll have an off week. Somebody will beat them, regular season. But get playoff time with the weapons they've got on offense and their defense, and, say what you want about Brock Purdy, but he's looked pretty daggone good. I don't know who's going to beat them. I think it's their year. So, we'll see. That's my Super Bowl prediction. I have no idea who's coming out of the AFC, but I'm 98% confident San Francisco is coming out of the NFC. But don't take my football pick advice because I already got knocked out of my I was in 2 Survivor Leagues this year. My big money one, I got knocked out of. I took Dallas against Arizona. The old Tennessee boy, Josh Dobbs, beat Dallas, knocked me out of that Survivor League. My other one, that's on my CBS league. That's my $20 league. So I'm out of it. I got in a $1 league on DraftKings, and I think there was 100 and something thousand people in it. I'm still in it. I'm still alive in it. I almost got knocked out last week. I was going to take Washington against Chicago on the Thursday night game, and I just had a gut feeling that Washington, after playing Philadelphia the week before and kind of getting pushed around, beat up a little bit, I'm like, I just got a bad feeling. So I changed it, and I went with Detroit last week. So I'm still in it. I think I'm going to take Buffalo this weekend against the Giants because the Giants suck, and Buffalo got beat against Jacksonville last week, so they're probably going to bounce back. So I think that's going to be my team this week. But this one on DraftKings, it's $1. But 100 and something thousand people in it, you're going to have to pick all 17 games right, and then you're probably still going to be splitting the pot with a bunch of people because, I mean, that many people, somebody's going to run the gauntlet, So I'm not too optimistic that I'm going to do well, but I thought, I'm going to get it. It's $1. You're basically buying a lotto ticket, and so I'm going to get in it, and so I'm still alive in it for now. Y'all don't want to hear about all this football talk, though. Let me scroll down here where I probably lost half the audience talking football here. Sunfish for Fish will be at Grand Lake on Tuesday. There's an animal. No, Blake, no catfish video. My next catfish video will come out tomorrow night. I was doing Mondays and Thursdays, but when football season started, my views on those nights tanked. And I think it's because I was going head-to-head with Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football. The ratings for the NFL this year have been insane. I mean, through the roof. So not very smart to release a video at the same time as the games. So I switched to Tuesday, Friday on my main channel and occasional other video, you know, just through the week if I get extra content, which this time of year I'm not really. Fishing views go way down in the fall from just lack of interest in fishing this time of year. So it's kind of my off season. I play around more, experiment more, try out new pieces of gear. I got a new camera I'm gonna be trying out. I'm gonna take it out with me tomorrow and film with it. So, you know, just the time for me to mess around and stuff this time of year. But yeah, I sure didn't want to release a video tonight with the Chiefs on and Taylor Swift on there. Michael B., I think Detroit's looking pretty daggone good this year. Now, are they going to get through San Francisco in the playoffs? I doubt it. But so far, they've been pretty dominant. I mean, the division's terrible. Minnesota's having a down year. Chicago is Chicago. And Jordan Love ain't no Aaron Rodgers. So they're easily going to win that division. So, you know, they're going to have a home game in the playoffs. So, I don't know. I'd like to see Hendon. They drafted Hendon Hooker, which was our star quarterback at Tennessee last year. And he had tore his ACL. So I'd like to see him get some playing time whenever he's healed up, probably next year. But Jared Goff has looked so good. I kind of thought, you know, Hendon Hooker could beat him out for the job, but I don't know. He's looking a lot better now that they've got him an offensive line. Mustang James, $1.99. He says, I know it ain't much, but throw it towards dinner. Well, thank you, James. I appreciate it, man. Old Mustang James, big supporter of the channel. He's a club member. Ralph Wood says everybody in Arizona is all for the 49ers this year. Brock Purdy, you know, is from Arizona and one heck of a good quarterback. I bet the Cardinals wish that they could have him back. I bet there's a lot of teams wish they could take another chance at drafting Purdy now. He has looked really good. And I don't, you know, a lot of these talking heads on the sports shows, you know, they're all about trying to, it's really insulting what they're doing to Brock Purdy, saying, you know, he's just part of Kyle Shanahan's system, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's been a lot of quarterbacks that's been part of Kyle Shanahan's system. And yeah, they look better, but Brock Purdy's looked the best of all with them. Matt Ryan had a really good year, got the Super Bowl when Shanahan was offensive coordinator in Atlanta, sure. But Jimmy Garoppolo didn't look this good under Kyle Shanahan. He won some games, but he didn't look as good as Purdy. And who was them other quarterbacks that they had? I think, wasn't like Blaine Gabbert or somebody, wasn't he out there? They had somebody, when Jimmy was hurt, they cycled through a few people, but none of them. It ain't just the system. I think Brock Purdy's got some real talent. I think he was just kind of, just for whatever reason, just overlooked in the draft. That's my uneducated opinion on it. Oh, there's Kayak Mike talking about running planer boards. We got a fish here after that bait. Did he get it? Let me get the camera in the chest here. We might be about to get us one right there. Something hit it. Something knocked the far out of it. Knocked some slack in the line. I think he's got it and swimming with it. We got another. I tell you what, Kayak Mike has impeccable timing. Oh no, it's another channel cat. Oh no. Oh, you old channel cat stealing my bait. I'm sick of these. We ain't caught but 2 of them. I'm already sick of them. Hold on, y'all. Let me put y'all back up here in the camera mount a minute. Kayak Mike has impeccable timing. I don't know what it is about him, but every time I can be out on the water, be getting skunked, he'll send me a text and I instantly catch a fish without fail. And he always does it. Like I'll be filming, and Kayak Mike, he's one of them people, he don't just text you once. He's a serial texter. Like instead of just writing a paragraph on a text, he'll send you 12 texts in a row. So your phone's ding, 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 while I'm trying to film and talk to the camera and stuff. But he always conjures up a fish for me somehow, some way, and it just happens again. I got to his comment and we get bit, even though the fish don't count, because it's a stupid old channel cat trying to steal our bait. Anybody want that fish dedicated to him? I ain't going to insult none of you by doing that. That old channel cat. Well, let's rebait. I'm very disappointed with these channel cats. Bad enough to be catching them. It's even worse to be catching them when they're so dang small. I really wanted to get me some carp tonight. These carp have let us down thus far. I don't know how long we've been live now. Pretty good while. If you're just tuning in, I chummed this area right when I got out here, right before I went live. I threw out some cattle cubes. And so I'd hoped about an hour, you know, we'd be catching some fish, but we're probably over an hour now. And thus far, all we're getting is channel cats. And small ones at that. Throw this back out. All right. All right, we're back in the game on that one. I'll tell you what, while I got my bait bag open, let's just go ahead and rebait this one too. I'm gonna leave the other one out there a while. We'd rebaited those 2 rods a little while ago, but this one had been out since that last channel cat had hit it. Let's go ahead and spruce it up too. While we at it, might as well. It's been a nice afternoon regardless. You know, we're running out of warm weather here. It's October for us in Tennessee is always hit or miss. Some years it's warm, some years not so much. It won't be too much longer. We'll be missing days like this. All right, back in the game. All right, let's see what we got here on the old chat box now. Let me scroll up. I don't remember where I was at. I know I'd seen Kayak Mike's comment somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it went. Ah, hell, I'm so far behind. I don't know where I was left off at. I found one of Mike's comments somewhere. There's Mike. He said, me being a good luck charm. Boy, it did, Mike. I'm telling you. I don't know how you do it. I don't know what it is. I need you to start texting me on tournament days. When I catch them in the tournaments. Mike says that's so true. I'm one of the few people who are using the PC when I chat most of the time and not my phone, so I can send 100 messages in 20 seconds. It's the damn truth, y'all. When Mike is texting you, you're going to get 5 to 10 messages, and your phone's going to be ding, 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 and it's always when I'm reeling in a fish too. That's when he's going to message me every time. I can be sitting out here with nothing going on, and I'm going to catch a fish, and there's Mike, just boom, right after the rod goes down. I don't know how he does it. His timing is amazing. I need him to be messaging me every time I film, I guess. That way I'd make sure I catch plenty of fish on video. Nikki says some people just have a whole lot to say. That's the truth. Willis Cop said that channel cat's dedicated to YouTube for demonetizing you on your live stream. That's funny. I know, Terry. We're still skunked technically. These channel cats don't count. Tough Bass Fishing says new kayak on the way, Sportsman 120 PDL. First ever pedal drive. Got any tips on kayak fishing lakes? Well, I hope you enjoy that kayak. No, I mean lakes, you probably do better dragging baits than just, since there's no current, it's probably do better than dragging or trolling than you will anchoring. But if you got creeks flowing into that lake, or if it's got points that lead out or humps or anything, any kind of structure in the lake, you could probably anchor on those places. But dragging and trolling probably be your best bet to figure out some places. No, Blake, I don't ever use any shredded wheat. The breadcrumbs are cheaper. Yeah, Mustang James, that's the truth, man. That cold weather, all them die-hard fishermen, they shrivel up in the cold. That's the truth. I don't see nearly as many people on the water in the winter as I do in the spring and summer. D Squared Outdoors. Glad to have you in here, buddy. Yep, Blake Swanson, that's exactly what I said. Tuesdays and Fridays on my main channel. Hey, thank you, Grant. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Yeah, y'all, I don't know if it's going to happen for us tonight. I've been mostly watching this chat box, but even my peripheral vision, nothing out of the corner of my eye. I ain't seen no carp rolling or splashing or anything. I've seen a lot of shad back there. They back there flipping and whatnot in the shallows, but I ain't seen no carp rolling. Don't really have a good feel for the carp right now since it's been, I don't know, at least 2 months since I've carp fished. I think it was probably early July last I went, so unless I've just forgot about a trip in the meantime. So I don't know. I assume there should be some in here, but who knows? We'll either catch them or we won't. I'm gonna fish till dark regardless. I'll probably cut this live stream off here in a little while, get a little me time in the final hour, but we'll hopefully get something here before I cut it off. Andy Bass says, how do you know if you catch the same fish? I don't know, really. If they got a unique mark, that's one way to know for sure. I mean, like the flathead I caught the other day, it was pretty obvious being the same size within a close proximity of where I caught it before and had that unique scar on its head. I mean, what are the odds of two fish having that same identical scar? So that's pretty obvious, but I would assume it probably happens a lot more frequently than we realize, but we just, the fish, they just look the same, so you wouldn't really be able to determine one from the other. Blake says, you going to watch the West Virginia games? No. I get home, I'll turn on the Chiefs and Broncos, even though it'll be a terrible game to watch. For college football, I pretty much watch Tennessee. I'm more of an NFL guy, really. The college game is just so It's just unwatchable, really. The amount of fake injuries where guys just lay on, especially toward the end of the game, but they're just laying on the field trying to stop the clock. The penalties that are just endless, the poor play. I mean, it's just hard to watch. The announce crews are terrible. The referees are terrible. The NFL is just a better TV product. The storylines are better. The play's better. I like watching NFL games better, but being a Tennessee boy, I always watch the Tennessee games. But that's about it for me in college football. If there's a big game, two top-ranked teams, I might flip over and watch part. I'll at least catch the highlights. But I don't watch a lot of college outside of Tennessee. Fishing Key Largo was catfishing on Lake Seminole. It's on my to-do list to go down there and do some catfishing. He says, caught my first blue. Biggest was 34 inches. However, it was fun. Use your techniques to catch them. That's great, man. Yeah, I fished a bass tournament on Lake Seminole. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I said, I'm going to come back down here and do some catfishing at some point. Lake Seminole's about 6 hours from me. So it's a reasonable drive to get down there. D Squared Outdoors was 2 weeks ago. My wife scored her PB carp at 12 pounds. That is now her 4th species in the Fish Ohio Recognition Program. Awesome. Congrats to your wife. That's a nice carp. Thanks, James. I appreciate you stopping in tonight, man. I was just in North Carolina, sun drop, just back in August. Michael B says these fish over my right shoulder. Maybe that's where they at. They sure ain't been where we are. Mustang James said he gonna be watching this evening. Sent the family back to Bama this morning. Magoose's SEC refs are terrible. Boy, that's the truth, man. I mean, they make some terrible calls. It's so hard. There's no flow to the college. That's the thing that gets me the most. There's no flow to the college game. Like, no team can get momentum going because of the penalties and the fake injuries. And they need to do something about the fake injuries. Like, it's just, I feel, here's what I think would curb a lot of this. And most of you don't give a crap about this, but here's an idea on how to fix the college football game. Right now, the way it works, a player fakes an injury, lays there on the field, clock stops, he comes off for one play, and then he's allowed to go back in. I think you need to set a rule. Punish these teams for doing that. If you got an injury, maybe you take a timeout away. Maybe instead of having to take one play off, maybe you got to take 1 quarter off. If you're hurt so damn bad, you got to disrupt the game and stop the game to lay on the field. Maybe you got to sit out the rest of the quarter. And I think if you did that, you'd have people get their ass up. You wouldn't incentivize them by faking these injuries and laying down. Or if a person just had cramps or something, you hobble off to the sideline before you go down. You don't just lay there and disrupt the game. That don't happen in the NFL. If the NFL, if a guy's hurt, he's hurt. Like Nick Chubb over there the other couple weeks back in Cleveland. You know what? When his knee got blown out there on live television, lay down. By all means. Stay down. But these college guys, it's just, it makes, from a viewer, from a consumer standpoint, it's so unwatchable. And I know, I'm in the minority on this. College football ratings are as good as they've ever been. But NFL is just better to watch from a consumer standpoint. Right there was something splashing beside us, giving us the bird. Yeah, Douglas, like that big blue that had the dot. That's exactly right. It had a unique mark there and caught on the same section of river. And I'm 100% confident that was the same fish. Yeah, Jeff, I target crappie sometimes. Not very often, though. Hey, thanks, Jay's Tube. I'm glad you find the videos helpful. I agree, Zachary Thompson. The rest of the possession, you know, you can't just, it just ticks me off. You know, a player goes down, the game's held up for 2 or 3 minutes. You know, the opposing team gets to take a break, basically, catch their breath, and then that player's right back in a play or two later. It's just, if you hurt so damn bad, you got to stop the game, then you better be hurt. But they're going to keep doing it because it's basically a free time, it's extra timeouts. So why wouldn't they do it? So you got to come up with ways to dissuade people from doing it. But I don't know how you do it with player safety being the hot topic and all. I don't know how you could enforce such a thing. But it's definitely a big difference NFL to college, though. I mean, you watch an NFL game, you just don't see it very often. Players don't stay down very much. The ones who do are hurt. Sergeant Waffles, I don't catfish much. What is the best bait? Whatever's swimming in the waters that you're catfishing in is the best bait. Mustang James, did Daniel get his new to him kayak? If so, how's he like it? He did get it. He finally come to my house and got it there, but I don't know if he's been in it, to be honest with you. If he has, he hasn't told me. I haven't fished with Daniel in 2 or 3 months, I guess. But I don't know. I'm going to ask him about that. I forgot all about asking him, but I should have reached out to him before to see how he's liking it. I don't know. It's a good question. It was a really good deal he got. Like, I mean, if I didn't hate new canoes so bad, I would have probably got it for myself. But I mean, he got a really good deal on that kayak. I just can't. I had such a bad experience with new canoe with that one that I had. I just can't go back to it. I can't do it. I just can't. Maybe if they make a kayak that people aren't complaining about structural issues and, you know, all that, maybe I'll consider it again someday, but I just can't right now. I'm still bitter. I just can't do it. Terry Craig, here's your shout out to Uncle Johnny Craig, who watches me all the time. Thanks for watching, Johnny. Uncle Johnny, everybody. Don said should watch the NHL instead. I used to be a big hockey fan, Don. I was a big Flyers fan back in the Eric Lindros days. But I haven't watched a full hockey game, and I can't remember when. Here's what I'll complain about on the hockey. NHL season's too long. The NHL should wrap up before June. You shouldn't be having Stanley Cup playoffs in June, in the middle of the summer. When it's 90 degrees out, us people in the South ain't thinking about hockey. They need to shorten the season. The season's too long. What is it, like 82 games, I think? They need to shorten the season down to about 50, 60 games, create more urgency in the season. And they need to wrap it up about March, maybe April. For ratings purposes, they would probably be best to wrap it up before the NFL draft in April. But again, what the hell do I know? Baseball's the same way. Baseball playoffs, great to watch. Baseball regular season, 162 game season, too damn long. There's no, once you get about into May, mid-May, you know which teams are going to be bad. You know which teams are going to be good. And so, when you got the Dodgers playing the Pirates in July, who gives a crap? It don't matter. So if you shorten the season, you'd create more urgency and it'd be more entertaining to watch. Games would be, especially going down to the wire, you'd have more intense games like the playoffs. But again, what the hell do I know? NFL, they got it figured out with the less games, shorter seasons. They're dominating the ratings of all sports leagues. They clearly know what's up, but the other sports, they want to add more and more games and extend their seasons out longer and longer. Makes no damn sense to me. I'm just the old YouTube fisherman. Jason, best time for big cats is spring and fall, pre-spawn, and then, well, now, October, November, at least here anyway. Mom says it's been an hour since I rebaited after that channel cat. That last channel cat when Kayak Mike was on the chat box. Surely it ain't been no hour. Couldn't have been an hour. David Jones says, recently you caught a rare spotted catfish. Can you explain to the group the story behind these fish? You talking about the piebald, David Jones, I assume? That's the rarest fish. Well, that was a big splash right there, and I'm pretty sure that was a carp. Well, the piebald, kind of just a lucky catch, really. I mean, wasn't doing anything to specifically target it. I was down on Nickajack, and I've caught, that was the third piebald I've caught, but they're just they're a blue cat, but they've got a pigment disorder, and it makes them like almost albino with like black splotches and stuff, and they're pretty rare. I think Daniel had looked it up, and they were like one in so many thousand fish fry or piebalds, and of course how many fry actually make it to adulthood, not very many. So it's pretty rare to catch one. But as far as targeting them or, a specific story behind the catch, not really, just right place, right time, and things worked out. Mom said it was 5:15 when I rebaited. All right. She's talked me into it. Right there was something too. That was a big splash right there. Well, let's rebait then. I have a hard time believing it was 5:15 when we caught that last channel cat and I rebaited. I think we caught the first channel cat around 5:15. I don't know. My mama wouldn't lie to me though. She called me last night and told me not to look at the sun on Saturday. It'll burn your retinas off, y'all. We're apparently having some kind of solar eclipse on Saturday. So if you go outside, don't look up. It'll burn your retinas. You'll have to go to the doctor, you'll go blind. So I know that's true too, because my mama told me. She heard it on the news. Lord knows the news don't lie. I'll toss that one in kind of short right there where that other fish splashed. I don't know if we're gonna get a carp tonight, y'all. I want one. I want one real bad. I think they might be punishing me for not fishing for them in so long. I had promised them I was going to make them big stars this year. I even thought about starting a second or a third channel just for carp fishing, and never did it. Now they're holding it against me. They're going to punish me for it. Get us skunked on this carp video. looking right into the sun. That sun needs to go down just a little bit further in the sky so I can see again. I am going to leave before dark tonight for sure. I've been having all kinds of problems with this motor up here. Y'all, it's been... I had another remote go bad. And I always keep a backup remote on this kayak because I was in that bass tournament last year and I had remote issues and ended up I cashed in the tournament, but I could have done better if I'd had a working remote. And so I said, I don't want to ever have to paddle this Hobie again. You know, I want to always make sure I got a backup remote. Well, one of my remotes fried the other day. The battery was all corroded in there. The motor was turning on by itself. I couldn't operate the remote. Anyway, so I put a new remote on, got it working again, ordered a backup. I get here to the lake today, and it's the first time I've used this kayak since then. I'll be damned, the remote I switched out, it ain't working. So I had to go to the backup that I just got to get out here tonight. So I guess about once every 6 months, I'm just going to have to buy a new remote for this thing. I don't know why Motor Guide, it's 2023. Why they can't get a remote that's worth a crap, I couldn't tell you. The Minn Kota remotes are really nice. They got a screen display and all that. These Motor Guide ones are crap. I'd like to tell somebody at Motor Guide about it, but they wouldn't listen to me no way. So anyway, I am going to leave a little before dark tonight just in case I end up having to paddle back. What I would do, I'd paddle to the end of this creek and then I'd walk my hind end back to the car. That's what I'd do. Probably leave this damn kayak sitting here. One of you might get a free kayak tonight if this motor won't work. Having these motors and gadgets and stuff, it's nice. But boy, nothing makes me madder when technology don't work. It just gripes my craw, man. Sticks in my craw. All right, I've made my mom happy here. We've rebaited. Let's see. The hound says lunar eclipse. Okay. Marcos Benitez, how often do you do these lives? This is the first one since the spring. I was doing them pretty regularly last year and the year before, but the demand has dried up for them, and I'm still bitter with YouTube, so I've cut back. I may do another one here before the year's over. Terry Craig, I've got Catfish Sumo chopsticks today, original chopsticks. They're pretty good carp rods in my opinion. They got enough backbone for bigger fish, but they got a light tip, so when I'm lobbing out this pack bait, I don't fling it off the hook. Sometimes if you got a rod that's too stiff and you're casting out this pack bait, it'll throw it off. And so being able to kind of lob your bait out is a big help with that. Let me scroll down. How far am I behind in the thing? I ain't very far behind. Vaughn Lynx is carp are a spiteful fish. I agree they are. They have been tonight for sure. John Doe, you ain't missed nothing, buddy. Couple channel cats and some carp that don't understand we in a carp video. Something was splashing right there. Yeah, these carp didn't get the memo that we carp fishing tonight. I've looked forward to this all day, though, and they've let me down so far. Got a little bit more time left, though, before that sun goes down. It could happen. I'm pretty sure that one that splashed over here a few minutes ago was a carp. But it's past time for them. When I chummed right before I went live, so that was almost 2 hours ago. So it's time. Oh, there's old Shad Daddy in the house. What's going on with Shad Daddy? I ain't seen Shad Daddy since, I guess, gosh, it must have been early spring. I ain't seen him in a long time. They call him Shad Daddy because he catches them shad. Big old skipjack. Shad Daddy's always on them around here. Last thing James says, try to give a post-Turkey Day vid when you're feeding them Monster Blues for Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, November's usually a good month for catfishing around here. The Hound says, so why would a large carp be jumping? I don't know why they do it. But if you go out, especially in the morning hours when I go out, I'll see them jumping. They'll be all over the river, like out in the middle of the river. You'll see them come up, make these big splashes. I don't know why they do that, but they do. Sometimes you'll see them back in these creeks too. You'll see them come up and roll and stuff. But I ain't been seeing much of it tonight. I've seen shad flipping everywhere. There's definitely shad back here. But I ain't seeing no carp. This creek, though, has historically done very well for me. So I filmed some videos here. We've done some live streams here. Caught some fish, but not going well for us tonight. They shy, I reckon. They don't want to be on no live stream. Yeah, Shad Daddy, I'm doing good. Hope you are too. It's almost about to happen, y'all. I'm about to be able to take these shades off. As soon as that sun drops another ½ inch or so, I'm going to be able to get rid of these shades for a little while. I believe I can go ahead and do it now. It was, I'll tell you, when I was looking right into it, it was bright. Statler Family Outdoors, do you know Petty Outdoors? I do not. Right there was another big splash. They everywhere except where I need them to be, apparently. What time is it on there? 6:28. I guess it gets dark now about 7:30ish. Next month when they do the time change, it'll be dark even sooner. I wish they'd leave our clocks alone. I'd rather have daytime in the evenings. I like that it's getting light later in the morning. Like now the sun don't come up about 7:30 in the mornings here, which is nice for me when I fish the mornings because I can sleep in a little later. So I hate that they're going to turn our clocks back. Of course, when they do, by the time they do that, I won't be fishing in the mornings no more because it'll be too cold. I'll be back to the afternoon, evening hours where it's a little bit more suitable for my tolerance level. I don't like it cold. One thing that is really nice though about this time of year, well, it won't be tomorrow because all the Vol Navy people will be out in the water, all the houseboats and stuff going up to the stadium. But otherwise, this time of year, a lot less boat traffic. You can actually get out in the water and have the place to yourself, which is nice. It seems like every year, really, for the last several years, we got more and more like ski boats, wakeboard boats, and houseboats. Like, I don't know where they're getting all their money at, but there's a lot of money hitting the rivers around here. And it's just, sometimes it gets to the point where catfishing ain't even fun just because you're getting rocked by so much boat wake and stuff. That's part of the reason why I got into the carp fishing so much, is so I can get back in these creeks and backwaters and not have to be around anybody. Willis Cop says, I'm about to get a carp. Less than 10 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what, Willis Cop, we timing it here. If he don't come in 10 minutes, I'm probably going to turn this live stream off, because we're dropping people. The longer it's went on, these people, they ain't got time to be waiting on these fish, man. They ain't got time for it. These carp, they've run off most of the audience. We'll give about 10 more minutes, and I'll probably fish another 30 minutes or so after that. Get me a little off camera. That's when the fish will bite, when I turn the live stream off, probably. It'd be nice to get one on the live. I didn't plan on staying live this long. I thought I'd just do it for an hour or so, and here I have flapped my gums off for 2 hours. I'll be doing a lot more. Can you hear me now? Let's see if y'all can hear me now. Mic died, y'all. Apparently, these Rode mics, apparently you get 2 hours now. That thing was even charged too before. Let me see if I got my transmitter. Well, the transmitter's still got a full battery. Yeah, well, it's a good thing the wind's not blowing much out here now, because we done lost audio. We'll just go on the cell phone mic for now. Well, that boosted my comments, though, when the mic died, by gosh. I got about 35 people telling me they couldn't hear me. I don't know if it's going to happen. Willis Cop was sure within 10 minutes I was getting a carp, but I don't think it's going to happen, Willis Cop. A fish is going to make a liar out of you. Nikki says they woke up when they couldn't hear you. You'd think it'd be my voice that puts them to sleep. I think that's why these ultralight videos is 3 and 4 hours long. I think that's why they're doing so good. I think people start the video and then they get bored to sleep, and so the video just plays all night long. I think that's why the views are so good. Lord, Newt Rockney, if we got to do nursing stories, we definitely wrapping it up. I don't want to relive my past life again. I don't want to do that. Hope to never go back to doing that crap. I know, Michael B. I should have used that channel cat for bait. Will Scott said it wouldn't be the first time I was called a liar. I say every season the Angels are going to win the World Series. I tell you what, Will Scott, man, if you can't win with Mike Trout and Ohtani, you ain't ever going to win. It just, if you can't win with the two best players in baseball, I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, it ain't even that they can't win the World Series. They can't even make the playoffs. They can't even be competitive. Like, how is that even possible to have the two best players in baseball and not be able to even sneak into a wild card? I don't get it. I don't know how they do it. It's like you got to try to be that bad. John Doe says, watch all your videos start to finish a few times. Thank you, John Doe. Mustang James said, did you have to give people shots when you were a nurse? I hate needles with a passion, no matter. So, yeah, I worked ER, so a lot of shots, a lot of IVs. I'd much rather give a shot than receive a shot, that's for sure. I'll stick anybody. I don't like being stuck. James Trivet, you ain't missed nothing. 2 channel cats, all we got tonight. We skunked on the carp, no buffalo either. Been very disappointing. You all have been great in the chat box. I don't even think we've had to kick anybody out tonight. Y'all have been awesome, but the fish, they've let us down. Fish hasn't wanted to be a part of the show tonight. The catfish didn't want to be a part of a video this morning. I only caught 2 small ones on my morning session. So, no video from this morning. I'd been on a good run, though, before that front come through. I don't know what they're doing now. They'll probably pick back up. Derek Parker, have you fished with Deuces Wild lately or plans to in the future? I have not. I ain't fished with Mark, and I guess since last year. I ain't fished with him all year. He started, he's been busy. I don't even think he's been running many guide trips lately. He's got a new jiu-jitsu school. That's his other thing. He does fishing guide for like a part-time deal, part-time job, and then he runs a jiu-jitsu school. He's got a new one in Lenore City, and so I know he's been real busy with it. But no, I ain't fished with him, and I don't think I fished with him all year. Maybe I went on a bait run with him back in the spring, maybe. Or maybe that was last spring. I don't know. It's been too long, though. It's definitely been too long. Austin Plemons, weather's been nice today. It's like 80 degrees and sunny. Wind was up earlier, but it's not bad now. Definitely better than the weather a couple days ago when it was cold. Mustang James, did you ever have anyone faint? Sorry, last medical question. Yeah, I had a few people faint. You know, some people, you know, you go to give them a shot or, you know, put an IV in or something, they have like a, you know, vasovagal response and they'll faint. I did have a kid one time. I guess we will tell a nursing story. He was a high school kid, and they were, I don't know, some kind of like health club or, you know, some kind of club deal. And so they had to do so many hours in the hospital, like just volunteer, job shadow type thing. And so I had this high school kid, and they stuck him with me. I drew short straw, so I had to have him follow me around for part of my day. I don't remember. Boy, if they didn't kill it with that many shots, they're bad aim or something. It's like the A-team back there. You remember the A-team? They'd be shooting a million shots off and never hit anybody. That's that person back there shooting. But anyway, they had this kid with me for part of my day. I don't remember what we were doing to the patient. I can't remember what. It may have been like a shoulder. I think maybe that's what it was. I think maybe a patient had a dislocated shoulder and we were popping it back in. And this kid I saw him go down out of the corner of my eye. Just boom. It just and like, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was a shoulder. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything like that he should have fainted over, but by gosh, he did. He went down. He didn't get hurt or nothing, but I was like, you know, maybe this line of work ain't for you. Maybe this is a sign you should maybe pick a different career option. I had another one too. I don't know why. I don't know how the hell I got on to telling nurse stories here tonight. Nobody wants to hear this crap. But I did have another. A nurse passed out. I was orienting a new nurse. Again, I had drawn short straws, so I was having to orient this woman. And we were in this patient's room, and he was a drug addict, and his dad had brought him in. He wanted him to get help and, go to rehab or whatever. And the guy, he wasn't suicidal. He wasn't in any distress. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't. Basically, all we're going to do in that situation is in the ER, you're going to get a referral. That's all you're going to do. You're going to get a discharge paper with a referral who to call on Monday, because there's just not a lot of resources for mental health. It's unfortunate, but there's not. And so unless you're suicidal, you out of luck. You're going to have to do outpatient, right? So this kid, he didn't want to be there. He was only there trying to get help because his dad had made him come in. And his dad was just unbearable. And so the doctor kept putting him off because, we got important actual medical emergencies going on. And so they're on that call light just nonstop. And so I went in the room with the nurse that I was orienting. And, when you orient somebody, you kind of got to be on your best behavior, I would always try to orient people two ways. I try to tell them the real world way and then the cover your ass policy way. And so we had to do some real world situation with this kid. And so I went in there basically to kind of piss him off and get him to leave AMA. And I was doing a good job. The dad was pissed and he was yelling at me, and I was almost fearful I was going to get hit. It was coming to that point. And again, out of the corner of my eye, there goes the nurse I'm oriented. She just, boom. And so the kid, I call him a kid, he was a teenager or whatever, drug addict, he freaks out. He hops out of the bed, goes running down the hall yelling, nurse down. And the dad, who I was just, about to knock my head off a few seconds before, he's helping me with her. She was an AFib, so she passed out. So we ended up getting another patient that night. So, yeah, that was another story where had somebody pass out there. Again, that's my past life, y'all. That's my past life. That's over. I'm just a lowly old YouTube fisherman now that can't catch a fish on a video tonight. That's what I am now. Living the dream. Living a dream out here, y'all. It's the carp's dream tonight because they ain't biting. Right there was one. Right there in front of us. They all around us, but not on us. How many people did I lose telling nurse stories here? Too damn many. Slay Shorts has been watching since 2018. And it seems like you're catching a lot fewer strippers than you use. I'm definitely catching fewer strippers. I ain't been to the Mouse's Ear in forever. But I think you meant stripers. And you are correct about that. I have not gotten very many accidental stripers while catfishing. In fact, I don't think I've gotten one all year. If I have, I don't remember it. But part of that is I haven't been fishing the areas where I historically got stripers either. I haven't hit those areas as much. Those areas have been pounded pretty hard, probably because me posting videos there, right? People figure out your background, where you're at. Those areas get hit hard. So I've been hitting different areas, but no, I haven't gotten, I really don't think I've caught a striper all year. I don't think I have. But you are correct about that. Strippers and stripers, a lot less of those in my life these days. Yeah, Steve Sutton, I am hyped for the Von Erich movie. I absolutely am. I hope it's good. When I was a kid, I was a big fan of Kevin Von Erich because he would wrestle barefooted. So I'm pretty hyped about it. It'll definitely be one that I see. Michael B says, did you bring the throw? I did not bring a throw net, no. I need to bring a towel to throw in because that's what we're about to do on these carp. We're about to throw in the towel. I don't know the water temp. I ain't had my graph on out here tonight. Yeah, Willis Cop, I think the 10 minutes is up, by gosh. I think you done made a liar out of yourself, Willis Cop. These carp, they proved you to be a liar. Fishing from Scratch is going for a 40-hour offshore trip tomorrow. Hopefully I have better luck than Justin tonight. You couldn't have much worse fishing from Scratch. I thought that rod right there might have got bumped. I might have been seeing things. Yeah, you can't do much worse fishing from Scratch. Well, thanks, Leighton Howard. I'm glad you like watching. Yeah, Mustang James, I don't miss it. I miss the adrenaline rush, you know, working the ER, you know, when you're in a room, you know, you got somebody that's actually got a medical emergency, not the drug addicts or the homeless or, you know, all that crap. But, you know, somebody that's got a true emergency, there's an adrenaline rush that comes with that you just can't replace doing anything else. And I miss that. But the long hours, hospital administration, patient families, you know, overworked, understaffed, I don't miss any of that stuff. I sure don't miss it. And I've gotten so accustomed to the good life now, I don't know that I could go back to working a 12-hour shift on my feet. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'm in shape for it. Hopefully I never have to again. I'd like to ride this YouTube crap out to retirement. That's what I hope happens. Well, Leighton, I hope you get that kayak out this weekend and catch some fish on it. Face pie, I mean, I'd use whatever's swimming in your water that's legal. If it's a fish that they're already eating in the water, you're probably going to have a good chance at catching some cats on it. Oh. Just a tease. Just a tease, y'all. Well, I don't think it's going to happen for us, y'all. I might as well just keep the live stream going, though, for a few more minutes, because I'm only going to fish a few more minutes, so I'm going to make sure I make it back to the ramp before dark, because I got to hopefully make sure I get back. I just ain't got I got more confidence in these fish biting right now than what I do of my remote working properly on this motor. Maybe a problem with the motor, too. I don't know. Been very frustrating with that lately, though. Will Scott says he misses the same adrenaline rush of serving a warrant, not knowing what's on the other side. Yeah, I'd say there probably is a rush with that. I'd say there is, especially not knowing what you're dealing with over there. Well, thanks, David Love. I'm glad you enjoyed the live stream even without the fish. James says, ride it till the wheels fall off. That's what I'm going to do, man. James, I'm actually in the Hobie Pro Angler tonight. I just been in my Old Town kayak lately because it's more fun to fish out of, to be quite honest. And, you know, this time of year in the fall, YouTube fishing views just go down the toilet. I won't say nobody. Many of you do watch. But, I mean, as far as, like, numbers overall, the numbers tank in the fall. So I focus more on me this time of year than I do the videos, and this Hobie Pro Angler with the motor and live scope and all that, having all these gadgets helps me ensure that I can get content more consistently. But this time of year, if I go out and I don't get content, you know, if I have a lousy day or whatever, I don't sweat it, you know. So I spend more time in the old town. But no, nothing. Oh. I think he dropped it. Something hit it. I think he dropped it. The line keeps going slack. Let's see if he's actually, he may still be on there possibly, maybe coming at me. Nope. He hit it though. Such a tease. Let me just rebait real quick. Let's rebait real quick. That's probably another one of them old channel cats. Probably what that was. I ain't got but 2 channel cats out here tonight, but I'm already sick of them. I can't stand them old channel cats, and I hope I don't catch any tomorrow when I'm ultralight fishing. They just get your line all slimed up, and you ultralight fishing usually break off. I hope I don't see none of them tomorrow. Well, I hope I don't ever see a channel cat again. All right, we back in the rod holder there. Hopefully something comes along in the next few minutes, because we're about to go home carpless, the way it's looking. I sure was wanting to catch me one tonight. I know, Nikki, where's Kayak Mike when you actually need him, by gosh? He'd conjure us up a fish for sure. Marcos Benitez, my thoughts on the autopilot. I like the kayak. Very stable. Love the open floor space. Had a ton of storage in the back there. The motor was the problem. I had a lot of problems with the motor. Had 2 warranty claims on the motor, had to be replaced. It was slow. It was great concept, poorly executed, was kind of my thoughts on the autopilot. But I mean, it's a well-built kayak, very sturdy. You get out in rough water, you're not taking water over the bow, everything drains good. And my Hobie here with the bow mount on it, when I'm in rough water, I take a lot of water over the bow, which gets in the hatch, and you end up with a hull full of water in this kayak. So the autopilot was well thought out, but the motor they needed at least a 55-pound thrust motor, probably more than that. And yeah, hopefully the future generations of that kayak will have a better motor, I hope. Leroy says, what's the longest out-of-state fish you caught, and where was it at? As far as catfish goes, it would probably be Santee Cooper. I caught some there. I can't remember what my biggest one in that tournament I fished there was. 40-something inches, 45 or 47 inches, something like that. So that was probably my biggest catfish out of state. I know, Douglas, can't remember when you didn't catch carp. I know. That's the nice thing about carp is you always catch some, but I haven't tonight. It's been, I don't know, one of them nights. They mad at me, I reckon. Well, I'm glad I can cure your boredom, Face Pie. Justin Mooney says, what's the latest in the year you've ever went for carp? Like, closest to winter-wise? Yeah. Trying to think. I think last year, I did some trips in late November or December. But I don't think I ever went out in January, February. So I would say probably November or December, probably. Which here, our water temps here in November, December are still, high 50s in that time. So it's not super cold then. I'm really not a good carp fisherman. I'm really not. I've just, this pack bait recipe in these creeks, it just catches fish. Not tonight, of course, but it just, I'm just in places that have a lot of carp usually. And usually you get this bait around them, they're going to eat it. I don't know if there's just not many here tonight or if they just not eating or don't want my bait or what. I don't know. I don't know tonight. No, Jeff, I do need to mix up the Jello flavors, but I usually just go with strawberry. I've bought so much carp bait. I've got a shelf in a spare bedroom of the house that's just nothing but breadcrumbs and Jello and corn. Like it's full. So I don't have to go to the store. I can just go in there to that spare bedroom when I'm going to go carp fishing. D-Squared, so recently the Navionics app has been all you need. Yeah, if I'm anchor fishing around here, that app is all I need. I don't even need a graph. No, just the Mooney. I'm going to film a raw and uncut video tomorrow, but I ain't going to go live. The live streams when I'm ultralight fishing have kind of been a disaster when I've done them before for a couple of reasons. One is I always run out of service. I always end up buffering. And the other thing too is it's hard for me to read the chat box and actively cast. Like if I'm just casting and talking, I can do that. But to read the box and cast, it's hard for me to do that level of multitasking. So I'm just going to do a unedited video tomorrow. Yeah, Terry said couldn't go back to 12-hour shifts in the ER at night again. I couldn't do it. I don't know how I did it before now. Hell, by 10 o'clock nowadays, I'm zonked out. I know, Keith, they do need to get busy. They run out of times. I ain't going to fish but a few more minutes. Yeah, Willis Cop, the pedal drive does really good with the white caps and the wind. The model I have, the Big Water, it's designed for big water, as the name says. So it really, the nose of the hull really cuts through the chop, and it drains well any water that you do take over. So it's thought out really well. The Hobie does good too without the motor. It's that 35, 40 pounds bow mount on the front. That's what really causes the problems when you get into some chop in this kayak. Just that extra weight. I know, I need to have a good day ultralight fishing tomorrow to make me forget about how poorly I've done tonight. You ain't lying, Chris Vanata. We definitely fishing and not catching out here. There's Captain Morgan. What's going on, Captain Morgan? Christian Butts says, have you ever fished over here in Knoxville on Melton Hill Lake for carp? We fish for bass here, and the carp are everywhere. Yeah, Melton Hill is full of carp. Now, I don't do much carp fishing over there because typically the places that I ideally like to go where I see them has got a lot of weeds and stuff. But yeah, it's full of big carp. Below Melton Hill Dam too, there's a bunch of big carp. Down there around that island and that what's that creek down there? There's that contaminated creek that flows in below Melton Hill Dam. It's always stacked with carp. No, Kayak Mike, but thank God you're here. I always get bit when you text or message. So, by gosh, it's time. You're about to conjure us one up, Mike. If Kayak Mike hopping on back on this live stream and sending a chat, if that don't conjure us up a fish, nothing, we're getting skunked on the carp tonight. If that don't work, ain't nothing going to. Because every time, even earlier on this stream, he pops up in the chat and we get a channel cat. Like clockwork. So if that don't work, ain't nothing going to work for us. David Klingensmith, $1.99. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. You're a good man, David. I don't care what they say about you. David's better than these fish, that's for sure. David says, my first live stream. Boy, you picked a bad one to watch, David. They definitely ain't been no action in this thing. Me holding a camera for 2.5 hours. Time has flown by tonight. It don't feel like it's been 2.5 hours. Justin Mooney says, the first time I tune in live is the first time you're not getting carp bites. You might be the problem, Justin. You might be the problem. It's all your fault. It ain't my lack of fishing skills. Gotta be you for sure. It's rare. To use this pack bait setup and not get a bite. Like I said, I even chummed the water too when I got out here. I threw out some cattle cubes when I first got on the water. So the fact that we ain't catching anything, usually that don't happen. But it does happen. It don't happen often, but it does happen from time to time. I just hate that it happens on a live stream. It's one thing to go fishing and not do any good when nobody's watching. But when you go fishing on a live stream and you don't do any good, that's almost embarrassing. That's the way it goes, though. Still can't believe my microphone. Crapped out after 2 hours. That's crazy. I quit using these microphones for my regular videos because they were such a nuisance. I was losing all kinds of footage. I'd get home and I wouldn't have any audio and stuff. So I quit using them, but I knew we'd need it out here tonight because the wind was blowing when I first got on the water. At least it made it till the wind stopped. Shout out Riley Dale. Watches me all the time. There you go, Riley. Well, good luck, Marcos Benitez. The Animal says, what are your thoughts on the sumo spoons? I'm finally going to use the ones I bought at CatCon here. So they're great. Yeah. I catch more white bass on the spoons than I do skipjack, but depending on where you're at, they catch everything. I've caught white bass, skipjack, I've caught crappie on them, I've caught largemouth, smallmouth. They're a good bait. No, face pie, I've never been to Maryland. Well, I'll take that back. I went to Washington, D.C. So I guess technically I was in that area, but never fished up there. Oh, the hound I have got stuff. I don't count them channel cats. They don't count for nothing. So we're calling it a skunk tonight. Unless something happens here in the next couple minutes. What time is it? Nikki's comment there says 7:04. We're gonna go. Let's give it 4 minutes. 4 sounds like a lucky number. We're going to 7:08. If we don't get bit by 7:08, I'm pulling up these parapoles, I'm reeling everything in, and we're taking it to the house. We're gonna go watch Patrick Mahomes blow out the Broncos tonight. I ain't betting on Patrick Mahomes because it's 10.5 points, and Kansas City's offense ain't been clicking this year. But I don't want to bet against him beating Denver by 10.5 either, because Denver's terrible. Again, I don't understand. You got Al Michaels, one of the best broadcasters in the history of football. commentating the Thursday night games, and they put these stinkers on there that nobody wants to watch. It's like, how many more years do we have left of Al Michaels commentating? Why are you giving him these crap games? But that's what they're doing to him. Stevie Reeves, $4.99. Thank you, Stevie. Appreciate your support, man. Thanks for showing up on this video where I ain't catching diddly doo-doo. Face Pie says, even if you don't catch any carp, still a great night to be out on the water. It has been a nice afternoon out here. Yeah, tomorrow will be better, Justin. I'm going ultralight fishing tomorrow. Surely I can catch something on a gulp minnow. Surely I can. Let me turn the camera around. I thought we had a little love tap right there. Probably channel cat or something. Hard times tonight, people. Hard times. It's probably the universe telling me. It's the first live stream I've done in months. This is probably the universe telling me, don't go live anymore. That's probably what it's doing. Don Ruiz said his warehouse is full of Broncos fans. God help them, because they're stuck with Russell Wilson's contract for years. They ain't going to dig themselves out of that mess. Yeah, Leighton, I think you're right. I think they thought Sean Payton was going to be the second coming of Jesus or something. And I was never and maybe it's just, I was never big on Sean. I know he had some good years in New Orleans, but Drew Brees was a big part of that. You know, I just wasn't. I didn't think that necessarily he was going to be the savior they were looking for, and obviously he's not. But with Russell Wilson's contract, what the hell are they going to do? Paying him that much? And I mean, they've got nothing around him, and he's terrible. That's going to be the worst. It's probably going to go down as the worst trade in NFL history. Like what Denver had to pay Russell Wilson, what they gave up, how good Seattle is now with Geno Smith. Like that's going to be the worst trade in NFL history. That's crazy. John Doe, are you going live tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. Nikki says that means you're just going to have to go live again real soon. I think it's telling me never to go live again, Nikki. I think that's what the universe is telling me after tonight. But Christian Butts, I bet that would be scary. Big muskie come up right there on you and you ain't expecting it. Slay Short's the best QB Peyton ever drafted. That's probably the truth. It probably is. Yep, Justin Mooney says 7:08. It's time to get out of here, y'all. Going home. Technically skunk, because the channel cats we caught don't count. I can't remember the last time I went carp. I mean, I ain't went carp fishing much this year. But I can't remember the last time I went carp fishing and didn't catch anything. Like completely skunked. I can't remember. It's very disappointing, but it's happened. Because I'm going to cut this live stream off. I'm reeling this crap in, and I'm going to the house. And hopefully the motor's going to get me there. I'm hoping not to have to paddle this Hobie back to the launch, because I sure don't want to paddle this thing ever again. Mustang James hit me with $1.99 before I get out here. He said, for the Baby Cheetah's Toy Fund. Hey, thank you. Thank you, James. Daphne the dog will appreciate that. Lord knows she needs some new toys. She chews up everything she's got. All right, y'all. Well, I'll try to do better in the next one. God knows I can't do much worse. So I'm going to get out of here. Hope y'all, if y'all on the water, I hope y'all are catching more fish than I am. And hope your next trip goes better than mine has tonight. But it's been awesome hanging out with you again tonight. Good to chat with some of my Catfish Club members. Special thanks to all of you all who have stuck with me. You know, you Catfish Club members, most of you signed up through the live streams, and many have stuck with me, even though I don't ever go live anymore. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And yeah, y'all, I'll get back to some regular videos. At least there'll be some catfish in the next video that you see. Hold on. Here we go. By God, no skunk tonight. There he is. Oh my gosh, I thought he had pulled off. Oh, he did just pull off. I quit. I quit, man. I quit. It ain't our night, folks. He hit it. I thought he pulled off. He still had it, and then he pulled off. Gosh, man. That freaking close to getting a skunk out. Yeah, when it ain't your night, it ain't your night, y'all. It's just the way it is. Let's get the heck out of here. I'll see y'all in the next video.